I was halfway through replacing the kitchen faucet when I heard a muffled whimper coming from upstairs, the kind of sound that makes every parent's blood run cold. I dropped my wrench and bolted up the stairs, taking them two at a time. The bathroom door was cracked open just enough for me to see inside. What I saw made my heart stop. My sister-in-law, Patricia, had my 12-year-old son Noah pinned against the bathroom counter. One hand gripped his jaw, forcing his mouth open. The other held a pill bottle. Noah's eyes were wide with terror, tears streaming down his face. "Swallow them, honey," Patricia cooed, her voice sickeningly sweet. "All of them. You know what happens when you don't take your medicine." Noah was trying to pull away, but she had him trapped. His hands pushed weakly at her arms. "Get away from him," I roared. Patricia spun around, and for just a split second, I saw something dark flash across her face. Then it was gone, replaced by that warm smile she always wore. She released Noah and stepped back, smoothing down her cardigan. "Marcus, you startled me." She laughed, but it sounded forced. Noah wasn't feeling well, so I was just giving him some Tylenol. I looked at Noah. His face was pale, almost greenish. He wouldn't meet my eyes. "Is that true, buddy?" I asked him gently. Noah opened his mouth, then glanced at Patricia. He nodded quickly, still not looking at me. Something was wrong. Very wrong. "What's in the bottle?" I held out my hand. Patricia's smile tightened. "Just acetaminophen." "Really, Marcus, you're being paranoid. Then you won't mind showing me." She hesitated for just a moment too long before handing it over. The label read Tylenol Extra Strength. But when I shook it, the pills inside rattled wrong. Too many, too heavy. "Noah, go to your room," I said quietly. "Marcus," Patricia started. "Now, Noah." My son practically ran out of the bathroom. I heard his bedroom door slam. I unscrewed the cap and poured some pills into my palm. They weren't Tylenol. They were white and round with D10 stamped on them. I knew because my late wife had taken them briefly after her car accident 2 years ago. Diazepam. "Valium, what the hell is this?" I held up the pills. Patricia's face went blank. "I have no idea how those got in there. Noah must have." "Don't." My voice came out harder than I'd ever spoken to her. "Don't you dare blame him." She blinked, looking genuinely confused. "Marcus, you're not thinking clearly. The stress of raising Noah alone, it's too much. I've been worried about you. Maybe you need to see someone. Get out of my house." "What? Get out?" Patricia stared at me like I'd slapped her. "I'm trying to help. After Emily died, I gave up everything to move in and help you with Noah. This is the thanks I get?" I said, "Get out. Take your things and leave." Tonight, her expression cycled through shock, hurt, and then something cold settled into her features. "Fine, but you're making a mistake, Marcus. A big one. Noah needs supervision. He needs structure. He needs to be safe. Leave." After she left, slamming the front door hard enough to rattle the windows, I stood in the hallway for a long moment, trying to process what had just happened. Then I went to Noah's room. He was curled up on his bed, facing the wall. I sat down beside him. "She's gone," I said softly. "She's not coming back." Noah didn't move. "Buddy, I need you to talk to me. What was she giving you?" Silence. "Noah, please. I'm not angry at you. I just need to know what's been going on." His shoulders started shaking. He was crying, trying to be quiet about it. I put my hand on his back. "Hey, it's okay. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out together," she said. His voice was so small I could barely hear it. She said, "If I told you, you'd die too. Like Mom." The floor seemed to drop out from under me. "What?" Noah turned over, his face red and wet. "Aunt Patricia said she was keeping you safe. That the medicine was to keep me from making you sick like I made Mom sick. She said if I stopped taking it or told you, the bad things in me would come out and hurt you." I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. "Noah, look at me. Look at me, son. You didn't make Mom sick. Mom had an accident. A car accident. You had nothing to do with it." But Aunt Patricia said, Aunt Patricia was lying. I pulled him into a hug. He was trembling. "How long has she been giving you pills?" Since right after the funeral." She said they were vitamins at first. 2 years. Patricia had been drugging my son for 2 years. "Have you been feeling sick?" He nodded against my shoulder. "All the time. My stomach hurts, and I'm tired, and sometimes I throw up. God, how had I not seen it? I'd noticed Noah seemed more withdrawn lately, less energetic. He'd been staying home from school more. I thought it was grief or puberty or I'd been so blind. We're going to the hospital right now, I said, standing up. Dad, I'm okay. Now, Noah, get your shoes. 20 minutes later, we were in the ER at Providence Portland Medical Center. I knew the attending physician there, Sarah Kim. We'd gone to high school together, stayed friends through college. She'd been at Emily's funeral. When she saw us in the waiting room, her professional smile faded. Marcus? What's wrong? I need you to run a full toxicology screen on Noah, everything you can test for. Sarah looked at Noah, then back at me. What happened? I caught my sister-in-law forcing pills down his throat. Diazepam, maybe other things. I don't know how long it's been going on. He's been sick for months. Sarah's expression hardened. She'd gone into emergency medicine partly because of her own childhood. Her father had been abusive. She didn't tolerate anything involving kids being hurt. Come with me. Now, 3 hours later, I was sitting in a private consultation room while Noah underwent a battery of tests. Sarah came in with a tablet and a grim expression. Marcus, this is serious. My hands clenched on the armrests. How serious? Noah has elevated levels of ethylene glycol in his system. That's antifreeze, Marcus. He also tested positive for diazepam, phenobarbital, and traces of diphenhydramine. His kidney function is compromised. His creatinine levels are at 3.2 milligrams per deciliter. Normal for his age should be below 1.2. The room spun. Antifreeze? It's been going on for a while based on the kidney damage. Months at least, maybe longer. She sat down across from me. Marcus, if this had continued, Noah could have died. We're talking weeks, maybe a month or two before complete renal failure. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. There's more, Sarah said quietly. I pulled Emily's medical records. I know this is going to be difficult to hear, but her symptoms before she died, the nausea, the seizures, the kidney failure, they attributed it to complications from the accident, but Marcus. They match Noah's exactly. No. Emily didn't die from the accident, Sarah said. I think she was poisoned too. The world went white, then red. I'm calling the police, Sarah said, already pulling out her phone. And we need to start Noah on Fomepizole immediately to counteract the ethylene glycol. He'll need dialysis. But Marcus, he's going to be okay. We caught it in time. I don't remember much of the next hour. Detective Rodriguez arrived, a woman in her 50s with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. She took my statement while Noah was being moved to the ICU. Where is Patricia Chen now? Rodriguez asked. I don't know. I kicked her out of the house around 3 this afternoon. She might be at her apartment in Beaverton. I can give you the address. We'll need the pill bottle you found. Any other medications in your house that she might have had access to. And Mr. Chen, I need you to think very carefully. Did Patricia have anything to gain from Noah's death? The insurance money. Emily's life insurance policy had been substantial, $500,000. Noah was the primary beneficiary with me as trustee until he turned 18. If Noah died before then, the money would revert to me, I said slowly. And if I died, it would go to Emily's next of kin, which is Patricia. She's Emily's only living relative. Rodriguez's pen stopped moving. She looked up at me. So if both you and Noah died, Patricia would inherit everything. The full picture was starting to form, and it was worse than I'd imagined. Emily changed her will about 6 months before she died, I said, the memory surfacing. She wanted to make sure Noah was taken care of. Patricia was upset about it. I remember her and Emily had a huge fight. Patricia said something about Emily forgetting who took care of her their whole lives. Did Patricia live with you before Emily's death? No. She moved in about 2 weeks after the funeral. Said she wanted to help with Noah. That family should stick together. I felt sick. I thought she was being kind. Rodriguez closed her notebook. Mr. Chen, I'm going to be direct with you. Based on what you've told me and the medical evidence Dr. Kim provided, we're looking at attempted murder of a minor, possibly murder in the case of your wife. I need you to not contact Patricia. Don't warn her. Let us handle this. What about Noah? What if she comes back? We'll have an officer outside the ICU, and I'm going to get a warrant for Patricia's apartment tonight. With any luck, we'll have her in custody by morning. But I couldn't just sit and wait. After Rodriguez left, after I'd sat with Noah until he fell asleep with IVs in both arms, after the nurses promised they'd call me if anything changed, I drove home. The house felt different now, contaminated. I walked through each room, looking at them with new eyes. The kitchen where Patricia had made so many meals for Noah, the living room where she'd bring him tea when he said his stomach hurt, his bedroom where she'd tuck him in. How many times had she poisoned him right in front of me? In the guest room where Patricia had been staying, her clothes were still in the closet. She'd left in such a hurry she hadn't taken everything. I started searching, not sure what I was looking for. In the back of her nightstand drawer, hidden under some books, I found a plastic container. Inside were more pill bottles, diazepam, phenobarbital, and a small bottle labeled ethylene glycol, automotive antifreeze. My hands shook as I photographed everything with my phone and called Rodriguez. "Don't touch anything else," she said. "I'm sending a team now." While I waited, I kept searching. In Patricia's bathroom, I found Emily's old pill bottles from after her accident. They should have been thrown out 2 years ago. But the bottles had been refilled, wrong pills inside, different colors, different shapes. Patricia had been planning this since before Emily died. Maybe even caused Emily's accident. Had it even been an accident? I sat on the edge of Patricia's bed and let myself feel it, the full weight of what she'd done. She'd killed my wife. Slowly, methodically, while pretending to care for her, and then she'd moved into our home and started doing the same thing to our son. 2 days later, Rodriguez came to the hospital with updates. They'd arrested Patricia at her apartment. She'd had a storage unit full of medical supplies, falsified pharmacy records, and a second bottle of antifreeze. They'd also exhumed Emily's body. The autopsy confirmed it, Rodriguez said. Emily was poisoned. Same M.O. ethylene glycol, benzos to keep her sedated. The car accident was real, but she was already dying when it happened. The accident just sped things up. Why? I asked. It was the only question that mattered. Why would she do this? We found journals in the storage unit. Patricia had been embezzling from the pharmacy where she worked. That's why she got fired 3 years ago, though they never pressed charges. She was in debt, desperate. When Emily got married and had Noah, Patricia saw an opportunity. The life insurance was the goal, Emily's first, then Noah's. She just had to be patient. She lived with us for 2 years, playing the caring aunt, while slowly killing my son. Rodriguez nodded. She documented everything in her journals. How much she gave him each day, his symptoms, adjustments to dosing. She was treating it like a science experiment. "Mr. Chen, I'm sorry. I know that doesn't help, but I'm sorry." The trial took 6 months. Patricia's defense tried to claim I was the one who'd poisoned Noah, that I was projecting my guilt onto her. They painted me as an unstable widower who'd snapped under the pressure of single parenthood. But the evidence was overwhelming. The journals, the storage unit, the bottles in her room, security footage from the pharmacy where she'd worked showing her stealing medications, her computer search history, how long does antifreeze poisoning take, symptoms of kidney failure in children, life insurance beneficiary laws in Oregon, and Noah's testimony. He was so brave. 12 years old, sitting in that courtroom, telling the judge how his aunt had made him take pills every day, how she'd told him he was sick like his mother, that the medicine would keep him safe, how she'd said that if he told me, I would die too. The jury deliberated for 45 minutes. Guilty on all counts. First-degree murder of Emily Chen. Attempted first-degree murder of Noah Chen. Child endangerment. Insurance fraud. The judge sentenced her to life in prison without the possibility of parole. When they led her out of the courtroom, Patricia looked at me. Her face was blank, emotionless. Like she'd never felt anything for us at all. Like we'd been nothing more than dollar signs and obstacles. I looked away. 6 months after the trial ended, Noah and I moved to a different house in a different neighborhood. Fresh start. Clean slate. No memories of Patricia in every room. Noah was doing better. The kidney damage was permanent but manageable with medication and regular monitoring. Dr. Kim was optimistic that he wouldn't need a transplant. At least not for a long time. The psychological damage was harder to measure. Noah was in therapy twice a week with Dr. Chen. a child psychologist who specialized in trauma from family abuse. Some days were good. Some days Noah woke up screaming, convinced I was going to die. It takes time, Dr. Chen told me during one of our family sessions. Noah's entire sense of safety and trust was violated by someone who was supposed to protect him, someone who used his love for his mother as a weapon against him. That kind of manipulation leaves deep scars. How long? I asked. She gave me a sad smile. As long as it takes. But he's resilient, Mr. Chen. And he has you. That matters more than you know. One Saturday afternoon in July, I was in the backyard setting up a basketball hoop I'd bought. Noah came out with 2 glasses of lemonade and sat on the porch steps, watching me work. Dad, he said after a while. Yeah, buddy? I've been thinking about Mom. My hands stilled on the screwdriver. Okay, Dr. Chen says it's not my fault what happened to her. That Aunt Patricia was sick in her head and would have done it no matter what. That's right. But I still feel bad sometimes. Like maybe if I'd been better or... I dropped the screwdriver and sat down next to him. Noah, listen to me. What happened to your mom? What Patricia did to both of you, none of that was your fault. Not one bit. You were a kid. You are a kid. Patricia was an adult who made horrible, evil choices. That's on her. Only her. He nodded. But I could see he didn't fully believe it yet. That would take more time. Maybe years. Maybe forever. Some wounds don't fully heal. I miss her, Noah said quietly. Mom, me too, buddy. Every day. We sat there for a while, not talking, just being together. Then Noah stood up and grabbed the basketball from the porch. Can you teach me how to do a layup? He asked. I smiled. Absolutely. That night, after Noah went to bed, I stood in his doorway and watched him sleep. His color was better now. He'd gained back the weight he'd lost. He looked like a normal 12-year-old again, not the pale, sickly kid I'd almost lost. Sarah called it a miracle that I'd walked in when I did. Another week, maybe 2, and Noah's kidneys would have failed completely. Another month and I would have buried my son next to his mother. I thought about Patricia's journals that Rodriguez had shown me during the investigation, page after page of clinical notes about Noah's decline. No emotion, no guilt, just observations and calculations. She'd written that she expected Noah to die around Christmas. She'd already picked out the sympathy cards she would send, and when I'd inevitably fallen apart from grief, unable to care for myself, she would have been there, helpful, supportive, making me meals, bringing me tea, slowly poisoning me too. The thought still made me feel sick. But we'd survived. Both of us. We'd made it out. I walked into Noah's room and kissed his forehead, something I'd started doing every night since the hospital. He stirred slightly, but didn't wake. I've got you, I whispered. I'll always protect you. I promise. In the kitchen, I found myself looking at the medications on the counter. Noah's kidney medication that he'd need to take for the rest of his life, a permanent reminder of what Patricia had done, but also a reminder that he was alive, that we'd caught it in time. I heard footsteps behind me. Noah was up, rubbing his eyes. Can't sleep? I asked. He shook his head. Bad dream. Come here. We sat on the couch together. I put on an old comedy movie, something light and stupid. Noah leaned against my shoulder. Halfway through, he fell back asleep. I didn't move. Didn't want to wake him. Dr. Chen had told me that Noah needed to feel safe again, to know that I wasn't going anywhere. That consistency and presence mattered more than words. So I stayed there on the couch, my son sleeping against my shoulder, until the sun started to come up. This was my life now. Hypervigilant, protective, always watching for threats, even ones that didn't exist anymore. Some nights I still woke up in a cold sweat, convinced I'd heard Noah crying. I'd run to his room to find him sleeping peacefully. Safe. Sarah said the hypervigilance would fade eventually. That trauma responses take time to process. You saved his life, she told me last month over coffee. You saw something was wrong and you acted. A lot of parents don't. They trust too much, or they don't want to believe someone they know could do something so evil. I should have seen it sooner. Marcus, she was trained as a pharmacist. She knew exactly what she was doing and how to hide it. The fact that you caught her at all is remarkable. But it didn't feel remarkable. It felt like I'd failed to protect my son for 2 years while his own aunt slowly killed him. In the living room, Noah stirred and opened his eyes. Dad? Right here, buddy. He sat up, looking around like he was making sure everything was real. This was something he did now, grounding himself when he woke up. I'm making pancakes, I said. Your move is to set the table. Noah smiled. A real smile, not the fake ones he'd worn when Patricia was here. Can I have chocolate chips in mine? Only if you promise to beat me in one-on-one after breakfast. Deal. I watched him walk to the kitchen, moving like a normal kid again. Not the careful, frightened movements he'd had before. We were going to be okay. Both of us. It would take time. Therapy, patience. Some days would be harder than others, but we'd survive the worst thing I could imagine, and we'd come out the other side together. That had to count for something. As I mixed the pancake batter, Noah told me about a project he wanted to do for school, something about basketball statistics. His voice was animated, excited. This was what Patricia had tried to take from us. These normal moments, father and son making breakfast together on a Saturday morning. She'd failed. The evil had lost. And every day that Noah laughed, or played basketball, or told me about his day, every normal, beautiful, ordinary day was proof that love was stronger than hate. That we'd won. I flipped a pancake and smiled at my son. We were going to be just fine,